We're gonna find these guys fucking tomorrow.
Alright, so, this one's called Dan's Koi Fish. So I guess Dan, fucked his foot up walking through some glass because he kicked a window. Lost his flip-flop. Not exactly a great time. Now, when he was walking, he made some stuff that kind of looked like koi fish. So, there's some salmon. How do I explain it? I don't really want to call them statues, sculptures. It's supposed to these salmon that are sculptured into the cement, but it's actually got pebbles on that portion, and the fish are made out of, I suppose, bronze, possibly brass. And they go to a little waterfall statuette thing that's got, it's a water fountain, probably about 10 foot tall or so. Not the kind you want to drink out of, though. And well, Dan bleeding out of obviously his right foot. It kind of looks like Japanese koi fish. So there's some pictures of some koi fish on my Facebook that I posted up that Danny made. That's not actually why I started recording this video, though. There's 3 youngins that were talking about hurting and killing people just a few minutes ago, which freaks me out. So I decided it would be a good idea to start this thing recording. I wasn't sure if, well, I know what those guys are doing. They were messing with blues, and it's just gross. Being as I don't do that stuff, I don't really fit in here. So this ain't the best parking spot for me. There were some folks earlier who lived here that were not like that. They got evicted, though. Not too active on there either. They were kicked out of their camping spot, and the lady was telling me it was like the 7th time in 8 months that she's had to move. I got a whole car stuffed full of trash. What a ginormous shit pit. Anyway, after having my backside and getting the surgical crap put through it, and it's a rubber line that they tie to itself, and what's that? There it is. Yes. Found my tobacco. So, those youngins are on foot, and it kind of looked to me like they walked away. Hopefully they just kept on walking. I figured I'd stop and listen, see if I could hear some loud drug-induced voices. I don't hear any voices. I don't think they're anywhere nearby anymore. They do the standard threatening, talking about killing chimos and you don't disrespect women and all sorts of shit like that. Meanwhile, it's difficult to locate people down here that are not disrespectful to both men and women. At least they're equal opportunity assholes. The great thing about the tweakers here, they'll steal from anybody. The great thing about the tweakers everywhere else, they'll steal from everybody. The greatest thing about tweakers is that they are predictable. I just don't get why they put that shit in themselves. I don't. This stuff is so fucked up. That's them little blue pills like I found over there. You know, the ones that I had the guy with the 2 dogs throw away? Yeah, it's gross. It's nasty. Then you end up with somebody who just doesn't understand social boundaries. A lot of y'all think that I don't get social cues. No, I totally do. Sometimes I'm just excited, and I miss them. I miss the social cues because I'm talking about something I'm excited about. Meth heads, they're a different sort altogether. They're excited about everything. They'll talk for hours about everything, but they don't get anything accomplished except talking and doing more meth and then talking some more. I mean, I suppose I should look at the bright side. They're not shooting it up. At least most of them aren't. I know which ones do and which ones don't. Isn't that messed up? I don't want to get these people hurt. I want to get them help. And help starts with having a place to recover. A place to recover for all victims. I think it's important that, a lot of us have been through trauma because of the other gender and are afraid of the other gender. I don't think it's discriminatory to have communities for just women or communities for just men. If you've had problems with men that can't keep their hands to themselves and you don't want to be around men anymore because most men are only after one thing, well, I can understand that. I don't think the same way, but I can understand your fear. And it is justified. I'm not going to take that from you. I know that the way that men and women have been trained in this country is abhorrent. We're not trained with equality. I'm going to tell you, there are 2 survival skills I think everybody should know. How to cook and how to change a fucking tire. Traditionally, men are supposed to change the tires and women are supposed to cook. Men are supposed to fix the roof and women are supposed to clean house. Well, why? Shouldn't everybody not want to live in a fucking pigsty? I don't want to live in this shit for certain. This ain't fun. Anyway, I know if I went back down there and stood out the side of the tent, I could get down there quietly. I could record a whole bunch of stuff. And the thing is, that's not what I'm about. This ain't about low-key snitching. This ain't about being a douchebag because I didn't get what I want right when I wanted it. It's about saving people's lives. Especially children. Especially the homeless. Especially the disabled. I'm probably not good to drive. I do know that once I get up to the park and ride, I can actually pull my trousers down. I'm going to put up my blinds. I got a blind for my window there. And then I got a blanket for either side. And that way I can change my pants. I got a pair of sweatpants in here. I don't know who left them for me, but thank you to whoever did that. I've been asked by Dan to go to the Center for Living tomorrow, and hopefully with his notes they'll be able to help me. I really need to call that Gazette place, the one in the Dalles. Anyway, there's likely to be some violence here shortly. People's tempers are flaring. It's hot, so people's tempers are especially flaring. The cooling center, it's probably a good idea for me to go there for my own health if I get there early enough. But I got so much stuff I gotta do, and I gotta I'm going to show the truth even if it kills me. There's a lot of people who are addicts that they don't see the error of their ways. They don't see how their actions harm others or are hurtful to others. A lot of addicts get a hold of me when they're having a bad day. People that I reached out to for help. People who treated me like shit or just straight up blew me off, and they got a hold of me to ask for help. Yes, I tried to help the best I could, given the resources at hand especially. With Dan tonight, I mean especially with all that blood, it was probably a good idea to call it in, turn it in, and make sure that, well, the cops were on the way to make sure we didn't fucking bleed to death from stupidity. That sucks too, don't it? There's a lot of people down here, they say that guy's an asshole and they want to beat him up and all that. He's not an asshole. He wants friends, and if you're a dick to him, he don't want to be your friend. That's pretty easy to understand. That doesn't make him an asshole. Him setting boundaries doesn't make him an asshole. I set boundaries and I'm an asshole. Apparently. A lot of other people set boundaries. Most people, I'm actually fine with their boundaries. There are other people who cross the boundaries and then want to bitch about their boundaries. You had your chance, dumbass. Anyway, with all the tempers flaring out here, you know, there's some artistic expression in the way that man broke that window. I mean, police station right across the street. He walked up and apparently kicked it hard enough for his Mighty Ducks sandal to fly through. Also, I met the guy who gave him the sandals. There might even be a video on here. I'm not sure if I recorded it or not when that guy gave him the sandals. So, I mean, I knew the guy, I just didn't know his name. He tells me about how he bought the waterfront over there and how he owns all of it. And I'm exhausted. My emotions are fucking hellacious. My backside is not in a good way, and it's probably a good idea for me to suck it up and drive up to the park and ride. Although if somebody was going to pull a drive-by, I think I'd prefer that they do it here at night than up at the park and ride at night, because at the park and ride, a lot of people are up there sleeping in their vehicles, and down here it's pretty much nobody. There's folks at the motel, but the way that people would be driving by, if they're wanting to blast me, they wouldn't be blasting in direction of the hotel. There's nothing out on the water this time of night. I mean, well, I guess the motel's over there, and bullets don't stop where you want them to, and the interstate's right there, so maybe this wouldn't be a safe spot. Now, I'm not trying to insinuate that somebody's gonna come pull a drive-by on me, and I'm not insinuating that Hood River is a gang violence kind of town. All I'm saying is I gotta think about all the threats and all of the hatred towards me. And I gotta keep in mind that although a lot of this stuff may seem a little far-fetched, there's a lot of shit that really seemed a lot more far-fetched that ended up happening, so I got to keep an open mind, and I got to think about other people. I got to think about their safety. I got to think about the ones I don't even like. Michelle Decini, I wrote her a letter and even wrote down the description so that she would know that there was an inmate who was going to kill her. Of course, I don't want to get him in all that kind of trouble. I just wanted him to not fucking have access to do it, is all. But that was after Michelle Decini did a lot of fucked up shit. And by the way, she's in prison now for sexual assault against an inmate, as well as smuggling goods and services in her vagina as well, such as telephones and drugs. Druggy life was never for me. I tried meth for about 30 days back in 2003. That was when Matt Worley stole that stuff from his mom, and I was like, I'm done. And of course, I quit cold turkey. Quitting something cold turkey is not difficult. It's really not. Quitting cigarettes cold turkey, that actually is taking quite a bit for a lot of people to do, but I just never wanted to quit smoking. There's been a few times that I did quit smoking. I did it unintentionally, but that's just because I just didn't want a cigarette. Isn't that odd? Alright, so let's drive up to the parking ride, I guess. You know, I wouldn't have thought that people would, or police anyway, would follow my loved ones. I didn't think that people would accuse me of things I didn't do. I didn't think that people would pretend like I was a monster for doing as they asked. There's a lot of things that I did not see coming. You know, even tonight, I did not see that guy breaking the window. I didn't. Alright, I knew something like that was coming. I spoke about it on my YouTube channel a few days ago. So I don't get to bullshit you on that, do I? Well, if you pay attention, if you don't pay attention, those are two very different scenarios. And the amount of information that you're going to be able to retain in each is obviously dependent upon your understanding of the situations and also upon your personal opinions. The facts are the facts, no matter what your opinion is. So, when somebody presents all of the facts before you, and you just want to slam somebody else, then you ignore everything that they're saying, unless it's something that you can try to twist or manipulate into something it ain't. When it comes to disrespecting people, I am highly disrespectful. Anyway, if you go onto my channel and you type the word KOI, you'll get to see the situation with Danny and his bloody foot, sorry. Usually I would check on top of my vehicle to make sure I didn't leave anything there that I shouldn't have. But I'm going to be back in the morning to pick up trash anyway, so there's that. I never made it to the Shell station, obviously. I got my I got my wallet in my back pocket so I can use it for a donut for my open wound. He actually, I probably explained this before, but I'm gonna do it again. The doctor lanced, well, at first he injected me with this pain relief stuff, and then he compared what he was gonna do to me to a marsupial and its pouch. He said it needs to heal from the inside out. And then he explained to me that he was going to put some rubber through it. He injected some basically Novocaine type of crap. Sorry, I'm about half asleep. And he injected that stuff into my butt in like 3 or 4 different places. And then he came back a few minutes later, and after it was numb, and he cut it open on each side. Instead of cutting just one lance down the middle, he lanced the 2 sides of it, and then he put something through it. He explained to me that it has to stay open and drain all the way, and that way they can do what they need to do to put me back together. It's a pretty bad wound, and it's something that should have had proper care. I don't think that doctor was too happy with the fact that I was not tested for MRSA. One of the addicts out here, he was telling me about getting a situation like that happen. He said, you shoot? I'm like, what do you mean? Wanted to know if I shot up drugs. I'm like, no. And he was telling me about the time that he was shooting up drugs and ended up with that. I'm like, well, I didn't shoot myself up with the drugs. I was actually shot up with the drugs by somebody else. Thank you to Clearview Behavioral Health for putting drugs in me that didn't need to be there. I needed to make a police report, not be on suicide watch. Putting me in a place like that is not going to make me less suicidal. It's going to make me more suicidal. So just don't try to push me to suicide by doing stupid shit. There's a list. It's called Suicide versus Suicidal. On one side of the list is how people react when you commit suicide. On the other side of the list is the things that people do to push you to commit suicide. All good, well intentioned and all that, I'm sure. Well, apparently there's a roadblock here. Hopefully everybody's okay. Kind of wondering why there's so many cops there. Maybe another altercation or another situation. I may be an asshole, but I'm a well-intentioned asshole. I'm also one of those people who believes in equality. If Dean wanted me to help him make a police report, I would. I've been trying to make one anyway because it's obvious to myself and everybody else that what happened to him was wrong. Well, kinda, sorta. There's the people here in town and the rumors that abound, and then there's Officer Shelley, who agreed that he thought that what they did was wrong, and that is recorded on my YouTube channel. It's already on here, so that's something you can look up. You'll also find a lot of other amazing surprises. Fucking bugs. Oh, also, I don't really feel comfortable going back to the Starbucks, and that's because of making several calls inside of their lobby. I don't feel comfortable doing that. That's the thing about going to the library too. Can't really do that. Especially as a male, you can't do anything that's emotionally charged, for damn certain. Gotta mind your P's and Q's. Apparently. Doing the right thing because it's the right thing to do. That's not always easy. Sometimes in life you gotta leave some room for artistic expression. I showed some of the homeless folks these cool pictures that I had of some koi fish, and they were looking at it and going, you know, that's pretty cool, man. I didn't know you painted. I said, I didn't paint it. And then there was the, is that blood? Yup, it is. He didn't intend to put a bunch of koi fish all over town, but anybody can pretty well go walk his route if they want to. So, good to be rid of you. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper, and no victim left behind.